Welcome back, Commander.
Command and Conquer Mobile.
Sure thing.
Oh, please no.
The objective is straight destroy the opponent's base to win.
No. No, do not you dare. That looks like nods. That's, oh my god, that's totally
Sounds great, Michael.
Oh my
Enough
god.
talking about it. All right,
It's
ladies
Command
and
and
gentlemen, we have
Conquer.
an awesome
Oh
matchup lined
god.
up here.
Really? Really, EA? This is the answer you came up with?
Hey look! A cardboard box washed up on the beach. Holy fish paste! It's a guy! Why? Why? Why?
Command and Conquer for a new generation.
Hey guys, I'm Tiberium 15, and I wanted to make a sort of follow-up video on my Command & Conquer 4 review, with my thoughts on the new Command & Conquer that was recently announced at EA Play 2018. And... oh god.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Now, the week before the devil, Andrew Wilson, presented us with EA Play 2018, which was a complete shit show if you ask me, almost across the board, there was a lot of speculation that Command & Conquer would finally make a triumphant return after a long hiatus. Amongst games that have defined the real-time strategy genre, Command & Conquer is often seen as one of the most influential titles. The Command & Conquer franchise, along with Blizzard's Warcraft and StarCraft, helped shape the identity of the RTS industry throughout the late 90s and throughout the 2000s. The remarkable success of these titles would play a significant role in influencing the designs of countless similar strategy titles in later years, and as such, it helped to create an indelible impact on the history of video games. Following the release of Command & Conquer 4 Tiberium Twilight, however, the future of the franchise was very much left in doubt. Regardless, the acclaimed real-time strategy genre had still enjoyed an incredible heyday, ranging from Westwood Studios' epic classics such as Red Alert 2, to the stunning standalone Generals franchise, and even EA Los Angeles' Tiberium Wars, Kane's Wrath, and Red Alert 3.
Space!
All proved to be worthwhile successors to the stellar franchise Westwood created. It seemed that despite the loss of Westwood Studios, EA was still very much capable of producing a procession of critically acclaimed titles. And then... this turd happened.
What have I done?
Now, I've already discussed at length the problems this game faced in my review. However, to put a long story short, the crux of the problems that Tiberium Twilight faced was that it advanced departed from the acclaimed real-time strategy series tenets, and thus it proved to be immensely unpopular with longtime fans such as myself and critics alike, and I'm certainly not alone in that opinion. Since Rivals was announced, various Command & Conquer channels such as Bike Rush Owns and No Strings Productions have expressed their dismay over EA's betrayal of longtime fans of the series. I was honestly really moved by No Strings Productions' reaction to the game's announcement, and I feel that he expressed the will of a generation of gamers who grew up with this amazing franchise. It was clear to me that he had been a fan since the series' inception, all the way back in 1995 with Westwood Studios' groundbreaking RTS title, Command & Conquer Tiberium Dawn, had since stuck with the series from the very beginning, all the way to its downfall with the abomination that is Command & Conquer 4.
I knew you'd come for me. What's that sound?
Objective complete.
Voy a la playa, ya subió la marea.
Since then, his video has garnered over 12,000 views, has been a vocal point of a generation who will not stand for EA's corporate bullshit. Now, Rivals certainly wasn't the last time EA attempted to revisit the Command & Conquer franchise. Back in late 2012, EA teased the release of a new Command & Conquer title that seemed far more faithful to the original formula, with the announcement of Command & Conquer Generals 2. Yet, not long into its development cycle, EA shifted the focus of the project to support their free-to-play program. Inspiring stuff, am I right?
Command and Conquer for a new generation.
Throughout 2013, the development of Victory Games' new Command & Conquer title was relatively slow, with very little information being shared about the game's production. From what little was shown, however, the game's concepts looked really promising. Running on DICE's revolutionary Frostbite 2 engine, the Command & Conquer universe was set to be brought to life in never-before-seen detail, specifically its destruction.
3, 2, 1, suppress it! Good effect on target!
Not only that, but key features were being re-implemented, like base building and resource gathering. You know, the bread and butter of every RTS game ever made, EA!
Command and Conquer for a new generation.
Yet by late 2013, EA unceremoniously canned the project and shut down the developer's company, Victory Games. Why, you ask? Because alpha testers who got to try out the game called EA out on their greedy microtransaction bullshit. And thus, the game sadly never got to see the light of day. Fans have made it distinctly clear to EA that Command & Conquer is not a franchise that could be turned into a pay-to-win easy cash grab. Yet here we are 5 years later, with Rivals. And the fans have every right to feel enraged.
Like, this is it! This is the entire map! How do you get strategy out of this? EA have just put your face between their crack and said, pull my finger. What the hell has happened to the Command & Conquer franchise? This is what happens when EA buys a company, takes their IPs and closes them. This is the shite they come out with.
It was incredible to see a fandom that for so many years that had been lying dormant was suddenly brought back from the brink, united out of rage against EA. I mean, just look at the trailer's dislikes. Over 40,000 people are pissed at this game, in which they've expressed their denouncement of EA's bullshit and have shared their experiences with the series back in its heyday. Since then, No Strings Prd has endeavoured to help bring back the CNC franchise, in which he states that the series does now belong to the fans, and it's a sentiment I wholeheartedly agree with. And thus, he sought to provide a means for old and newcomers alike to get into the series, and it's a message I'd like to reiterate and expand upon. Around the time EA released Command & Conquer 4, they declared that all of the Westward titles were freeware, and thus you can legally download all of these titles here for free via cnc.net. I'd highly recommend you do this for Tiberium Sun and Red Alert 2, as both games are really buggy as hell with the collection versions. Thanks to the fandom, however, the Westward games have been lovingly fixed by the fans, and thus they still stand as really strong titles to this day. In addition, various patches have been made to fix the Ultimate Collection's porting cock-ups, which you can download from here. The next thing I'd like to address is the issues concerning the EA Los Angeles titles. These are Generals, 0 Hour, Tiberium Wars, Kane's Wrath, Red Alert 3, and Uprising. While these games work perfectly fine with the collection, there are certain restrictions that EA put in place which didn't exist in the original versions, largely concerning mod compatibility. Now if you're just looking to get these games in particular, you can find most of them on the Steam store, which is arguably the best time to do so seeing how the Steam Summer Sale just kicked in at the time of recording. Unfortunately, Generals Nora's expansion pack 0 Hour is available to buy separately on either platform, and can only be acquired through the collection, though I'm sure if you improvise, you can solve this problem. In addition, I'd highly recommend you check out ModDB's library of mods for these games. Red Alert 3 Upheaval, for example, is personally one of my favourites, as it ports over all the assets from Red Alert 3's expansion Uprising over to the core game, including all of its new units and maps which are incredibly fun, all the while making some improvements to the core game itself. While on the subject of mods, No Strings Prd recommended to me a player-made mod known as OpenRA. This player-made mod is entirely free to play and effectively acts as a remaster for Tiberium Dawn, Red Alert 1, and Dune 2K, all of which include their expansions. Whilst to a large degree this game supports the Skirmish and multiplayer theatre, it nonetheless successfully recreates the various single-player campaigns. In order to get the best experience, however, it is highly recommended you own a copy of the original games, so as the mod can use all of its assets. However, as aforementioned, you can download the original titles entirely for free legally through the links in the description below. Moreover, another mod I'd highly recommend is Renegade X. Now, Command & Conquer Renegade was originally a standalone first-person shooter set in the first Tiberium War, and you can download it here for free via cnc.net. Whilst I personally loved the single-player experience of Renegade, its multiplayer theatre was truly something special, and is something that the mod Renegade X sought to recreate on a modern engine. Originally the mod was running on Unreal Tournament 3, but now the mod stands as an entirely free standalone game, which you can download through the link in the description below. Another thing I should mention is that although the old GameSpy servers have been long shut down, you can still easily restore the game's multiplayer theatre through CNC Online or on cnc.net, all of which is entirely free and safe to use. Now, unfortunately I'm not very familiar with how cnc.net works, but I am aware of what games it supports. If you're looking to play the Westwood titles online, then cnc.net is what you need. Otherwise, if you want to play Generals, Zero Hour, Tiberium Wars, Kane's Wrath, or Red Alert 3 online, simply go to CNC Online, create an account, and store your details somewhere safe. Seriously, you're going to want to keep a reference somewhere, as it's a huge pain in the ass to recover them. From there, simply download the launcher and run it. Now you simply hook the games you want to play online, and then click on the game you wish to play. CNC Online also supports mod users, so you can play a modded version of the game with your friends. If you want to try CNC4 however, which is frankly a masterpiece in comparison to this turd, EA still provides the service for the game, although I cannot recommend it. Finally, to conclude on a personal note, I still firmly believe there is a future out there for this franchise, and that there is still a future for the RTS genre. If StarCraft 2 is capable of standing the test of time as one of the best RTS games of all time, surely one day the Command & Conquer franchise can truly return.
In the name of Cain! In the name of Cain! In the name of Cain! Cain lives! Rule of thumb, Hassan. You can't kill the Messiah.
Sadly, Rivals may very well have been EA's only chance to resurrect this amazing game series, that we all grew up with and loved. I'm simply baffled that this atrocity was the best answer they could come up with. A cheap, low quality, pay to win mobile game. And we already know it's going to be riddled with their rapacious microtransactions like every other mobile game. Despite this disaster, however, I'm really glad the fans have taken a stand against EA and announced this poor excuse of a Command & Conquer game. Until a true sequel is released, we shall continue to enjoy the existing franchise, not embrace EA's money-whoring tactics.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
On a closing note, I'd like to reiterate No Strings Production's message. Command & Conquer belongs to the fans. We'll take it from here. Thanks for watching. Please do make sure you check out No Strings Production's channel. He produces some really cool videos and often streams the Command & Conquer series. Thanks for watching.